Welcome to Timeless Chronicles. Explore history, mysteries, and fascinating stories from 15 weird superstitions that sailors from history had. Subscribe now for captivating content that takes you beyond time. Timeless Chronicles, history, mysteries. Enjoy this video. Bananas are bad luck. While they're a major import, it's considered bad luck to have bananas on a boat. Why? The fruits are thought they have a negative effect on catching fish. This myth originated in the Caribbean in the 1700s, when boats carrying bananas for trade had to sail quickly to get them to market before spoiling. Whistling encourages wind but beckons storms. Some superstitions are thought to bring both good and bad luck. Take whistling, for instance. It's thought to both encourage wind and bring on storms. The superstition might have originated with the mutiny on the HMS Bounty, which was signaled with a whistle. Unbroken eggshells can be used by witches. Not every superstition even has to do with being on a ship. Eggshells are thought to be bad luck off of boats. This superstition states that eggshells should be smashed into small pieces, because if they are left intact, witches will use the shells as boats and conjure storms to sink ships. An albatross signals good fortune. The albatross is one of the most well-known signs of luck in the maritime world. Sailors believed that albatrosses carried the souls of dead crewmen. Thus, their appearance meant that the spirits were protecting them. Women are bad luck, unless they're figureheads. One of the oldest seafaring superstitions is that women are bad luck on a ship. They are thought to bring storms and lead men to succumb to temptation. The superstition was so deeply held, in fact, that one story tells how sailors stuck in a storm off the coast of England threw more than 60 women overboard in an attempt to change the weather. Sailing on Friday is a bad idea. Sailors are even cautious about days of the week, particularly Fridays. Taking to the sea on those days brings bad luck. This superstition was so widely believed that a tall tale was hatched, saying that the Royal Navy commissioned a ship called the HMS Friday to calm sailors' fears. Tattoos can protect from misfortune. European sailors likely first encountered tattoos when they reached the South Pacific Islands in the 18th century. Certain tattoos were thought to give good luck or protect sailors from misfortune. Pigs and roosters were popular choices for ink, as the animals were kept in floating crates that sailors could grab onto if their ships sank. Cutting your hair inspires the wrath of Neptune. Sailors were known for their unkempt appearance. Working on a ship day in and day out with poor food and limited fresh water for bathing made for less than hygienic conditions aboard. One superstition gives one reason for sailors' long hair and nails. They were trying to avoid Neptune's wrath. Earrings protect from drowning. For sailors and pirates, earrings were far more than just fashionable accessories. The jewelry carried with it the superstition that a sailor with a pierced ear wouldn't drown. Sadly, sailors with pierced ears did occasionally succumb to the depths, but if their bodies were recovered with a gold or silver earring, the earring could be cashed in to cover funeral costs. Lucky coins should be placed under the mast. Mast stepping, the practice of raising a mast on a ship, brings with it a superstition that is thought to go back thousands of years. When a ship's mast is raised, coins or other lucky charms are placed under it. The practice might have begun in the Roman era. If the ship sank, the coins could be used to pay Charon to ferry the sailors' souls across the river Styx to the underworld. Ill-fated sailors are called Jonah. The name Jonah can be bestowed on anyone who is blamed for bad fortune on a vessel. Dolphins signal good sailing conditions. Dolphins have long been thought to be lucky creatures for sailors. Stories and fables from around the world tell how men lost at sea were rescued by the super-intelligent mammals. Sailors believed that dolphins also signaled good conditions and thought that killing a dolphin would bring misfortune. Pelorus Jack, a dolphin first observed in 1888, would supposedly guide ships through the dangerous waters of Pelorus Sound in New Zealand. He became so famous that author Mark Twain paid him a visit on his world travels. Mermaids sink ships. Sailors didn't just believe mermaids were real in the early days of seafaring. They thought they brought both good and bad luck. Mermaids were likely inspired by the Atar goddess, the ancient Syrian goddess of fertility, over 4,000 years ago. The creatures entered the Western imagination with Roman mythology, which painted them as similar to sirens, beguiling figures who would lure sailors into crashing their ships on the rocks and drowning. There were also tales of mermen who would board ships to sink them. Crossing the equator is a momentous occasion. A sailor's first crossing of the equator is typically honored with a ceremony that dates back hundreds of years. Until a seaman takes a trip past 0 degrees longitude, he is called a polywog. But once he joins the Order of Neptune by crossing the equator, he's a shellback. Line crossing ceremonies include high-ranking officers dressing as the sea god Neptune and talent shows performed for the amusement of the crew. Cats are welcome on deck. Cats have been brought aboard ships since ancient times. They proved useful to crews, as they killed mice and other pests, saving food stores and helping to prevent the spread of disease. Cats also provided comfort and companionship to sailors who were on long voyages far from home.